I'm teaching the enzymes simulation, and it's in the middle of my enzymes unit. And the goal is for students to investigate how changing substrate concentration affects enzyme activity and learn about how models can be used effectively. So the goal is for students to be able to investigate how changing substrate concentration affects enzyme activity. And then after today's class, they're going to do an actual wet lab testing the same thing. So they're going to be kind of using the model to make a prediction about the real lab and learn about how models are used. I think one of the challenges is timing, just making sure they have enough time in class and answer all the questions thoroughly and don't just do it to check off each question, like that they're actually using the packet and the questions to think about the material deeply. I'll circle around the room and just kind of check in with each group as they're working, see if they're having any questions. But I think they're pretty good with it, but I'll stop them maybe a few times. If not today, then definitely tomorrow we'll cover some of the key topics. I hope they understand how enzymes work and how changing substrate concentration affects the rate of reaction, especially seeing how the graph will level out. And I also like that in this simulation they're exposed to random movement of molecules and how that impacts results, because they look at their individual results and then they compare it to the class results, and it's very different. And hopefully also they can see how using models is very useful, because they can do this all in like 10 minutes.
I wanted to go sledding with my neighbors. We always go night sledding whenever there's like a snowstorm.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, except they couldn't. I was like, no. Well, it's so fun.
So Talia's not coming in to class today.
Okay.
She has our group's poster.
Oh, okay. Is she in school today?
No, she is not.
Oh, okay.
So she.
That's fine.
Yeah, no, she just texted me like this morning and said I'm not coming to school today, and I have our poster. So.
Okay.
Just make sure you tell
All
us.
right.
So.
Thanks.
Yeah. So we'll have it tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah. Fine. There's some in the hall from the other class that are like really cool, like 3D.
Simple.
It's okay. Simplicity is a beautiful thing.
I lost.
We should cut off in the hall.
Yeah.
I'll just go. Sorry.
Okay. All right. No. Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Great. So does everyone have their poster up? Thumbs up. Great. Okay. So let's get started. Let's have Ksenia. Could you read our objective, please?
Investigate the effect of changing substrate connection on enzyme activity.
You need to write neither. Substrate concentration.
Oh, I can't read today. I'm sorry.
That's okay. On enzyme activity. All right. So do now. You got the posters hung up in the hall. If you haven't had a chance to read page 1 of the activity, we're going to read that in just a second. And then we're going to spend the rest of class working on simulation. So a couple things for homework I want to talk about. The packet, you'll mostly finish it in class. There may be like there's some graphing you'll have to do for homework, and probably one question you'll have to do for homework on that. So that will be due tomorrow. And then as you guys know, the lactase lab from last week is also due tomorrow. And then for your posters, which look great, some of those are unbelievable. You're going to do a gallery walk for those, again, like we did for the protein posters, and that will be due Monday. So you should have time to be able to check those out outside of class. So let's take another minute. I'm not sure everyone had a chance to do this, but with the enzymes activity packet, please read page 1, and then I'll explain how it's going to go, and then we'll get started. are so quiet when you're being videotaped. Should set up fake cameras every day. Or will they be fake? Okay, we cut out MIT researchers watching you. All right, so I want to show you the simulation. So if you look on the bottom of the packet, there's a URL. So you're going to go there. Let me turn the lights off so you can see. OK, so MIT has created a bunch of simulations to help teach complex biological topics and to help understand issues of complexity and complex systems in biology. So this is the first one we're going to do this year on enzymes, and there will be several others throughout the year. So I'm going to show you a couple features of the way the program works so you can get a sense for it. So basically, this green screen is where all the action takes place. So that's what you're going to be watching. And then you've got these blue control buttons right here. So you're going to, like, as you go through the packet, it'll tell you exactly what to do and when. But I'll show you how it works. So if you click Create 25 Starch, you can see this turns blue, and these things represent starch molecules. Okay. So then if I click Add Enzymes, you can see a bunch of enzymes show up there. Okay, so those are the little circles. And then if I click down here, Run for 30, the program starts running. And it will run for 30 computer seconds, which are pretty much whatever you tell them to be in terms of timing. Okay, so you can watch that. Okay, so this is just an introduction here. But on your computer screens, these individual hexagons are a little bit reddish, and the longer starch ones are grayish. So you'll be able to see that a little bit better on your own screens. But a couple things to point out is you have these counters right here. So you have this clock, and the clock tells you how long things are going. And then you have the number of enzymes. So every time you click on Add Enzymes, it adds in 8. And then this sugar counts up how many sugars there are. Okay? So I'm just going to run it one more time. So I'll click 25 starch, add enzymes, run for 30. Okay, so watch just what's happening to the counters. Okay, you can see the clock ticking up, and what's happening to the number of sugars. Okay, it's going up. So why is the number of sugars increasing?
Because you're breaking bigger saccharides into smaller saccharides, so you get more.
Yeah. More. Are you going to finish that? More. More what?
More sugar.
Yeah, exactly. You're taking those polysaccharides, those starches, and getting monosaccharides, thanks to the enzymes. OK, now the clock you can adjust. So if you look up here, it says engine speed. You can change that setting. So if I go back to run for 30 and then change this, you can see how that speeds up pretty significantly. Right? And you can go faster than that, too, which you're going to want to have it at different speeds. Like sometimes you're going to be asked to pay close attention to what's happening. You probably want to watch it slower. And sometimes you just need to collect a lot of data and run a bunch of trials. So in that case, it's fine to just speed it way up. Okay? Questions so far? OK, so another thing to point out is this button right here where it says View Code. So if anyone is interested in coding, or maybe interested in coding, or has never even thought about coding, but you should, you can click View Code, and then, oh, it loads. And then you can scroll down. And this is the way that the simulation was programmed. So you can mess around with that once you've kind of run through it. So this is the coding language, these blocks. I'm not going to tell you too much about it. This is more something you can explore on your own. But I would suggest taking a look at this tab here where it says glucose, because that's one of the most simple things you can look at. And this is how the glucose sugars are programmed. So what this means is, while run for 30 is toggled, that's like when you press that run for 30 button, the individual molecules move forward by one step, and then they're going to turn left or right by a random number of degrees between 0 and 19. So you can mess around with that and see if it changes the way the glucose behaves. And you can change anything else you want in there, just don't save it. Okay? All right, any questions yet? Okay, great. So what we're going to do for this is you're going to work with the person next to you. Jinchuan and Sivan, you guys can work together again. And basically, you're each going to have a role. So one of you will start out as the driver, which means you press the buttons. And the other will be the navigator, which means you read the instructions. And then you're going to switch. So let's say every 2 pages, you switch roles. There's no backseat drivers, just driver, navigator, okay? Just with your partner. Yep. So 1 computer per set of 2 people. Okay? So if you turn to page 2 in the packet, I'll point out one other thing, which is that you should notice some icons. There's one that shows like a person in motion, and that means click something on the computer. And then there's another one that's a pencil or pen, and that means write something. Okay? And you do not need to write incomplete sentences. This is just for you to think about what's happening and make sense of it. Okay? There will be some questions later on where I'll ask you to do a little bit more thoroughly, but I'll get to that at the end of class. All right, so URL is on the front page. Come on up with your partner and grab 1 computer. And let's see, let's have you guys be a group of 3. Okay, and you guys be 2, okay? Yeah.
I'm so tired. This won't break. No. Really, finish your wings.
All right, so you guys got it open? You guys got it? Oh, you don't have any controls. Can I see? Scroll up. Scroll up. Yeah. Can I see this? Can you minimize the window? Can I see it further? Oh. Yeah, that's not the right URL. So it should say Enzymes.
Create 25 stars and click.
Teacher's instructions, you follow up the enzymes activity simulation file on your computer. Click Run Code. Located at
25 star. Did you run it?
top.
Wait, there are no starches.
I'm
And run for 30. How are
gonna
you going?
get here. I tell you what to do.
I can do it. Okay, as you increase the starting on starch, what do you think will happen with the amount of sugar you'll end up with?
This is like for less starch, there's gonna be more. So I think it's
Data collection to determine the change in the amount of sugar produced as the amount of starting starch is increased. You will vary the amount of starch and set up and record the amount of sugar produced.
Did you say for 1 again?
No, they just move around
So
and a few
click
sugars.
on the create 25 starch button. Click run for 30.
you can like speed it up.
Right, there are 25 starch in there. 50. Blah, blah, blah. All 50. 0, 0.
0 be 0. Okay. You run it.
Here, yeah. 75. Dose.
Okay. 50.
100. Do you add 50?
No,
Here, I'll do it.
is that the
Nope. I think it just does it by itself.
Alright.
So, ready?
Yeah.
6.
0, 2, 6.
Ten.
Just going up by 4.
20.
No.
15. Making leaps.
Wait. What was this? 100?
I don't know if that was 100 or 125.
100.
We'll try it again.
Seven.
17.
That was a very weird dip.
150. 20. 175. Wow. Hold on, I just want to make sure that was 175. If it's like around there, that's good enough.
It's random every time, isn't it?
Yeah, but like if it has to be like in the ballpark.
True.
Or it's likely that it's in the ballpark.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't have to be, but it's very likely that it would be.
That's statistics.
And you guys will be group 8.
Okay, 225.
It's like a really weird wavy thing.
36.
It's kind of like that.
Did we change that? No.
250.
Okay.
30, 46, 46. 100 engine speed is definitely not 100 engine speed.
So we have to wait for the class end.
Yeah.
38.
Okay.
Starch, why are you lacking? Oh, so you can change the orientation just by.
Without enzyme, optimize for S3 calculate.
Yeah. It's either this or this.
This is pretty trash luck, I'm not gonna lie. 32.
Yeah. Because it gets a little bit stagnant later on.
There we go. Oh, that is perfect luck right there. Oh, let's go. Plus, more than 40, more than 40. Give me that, more than 50. 50!
You guys should bet on it. Maybe you can rig it.
Just change the code.
rig it. Just simply see, you could rig it.
You log yourself out.
Yup.
Is that a takeout box or something?
It's fine, we did it.
Okay, let's
Alright, here we
time to
go.
switch roles. Right. What did our experiment look like? You say it's linear. It's kind of hard to say.
Yeah, it was fairly linear. Or it should have been in theory.
Okay. Without enzymes.
In the sequence of starch addition experiments that you just completed without enzymes, which of the statements below best describes the change in amount.
Oh, this is. Wait, no, never mind.
Yeah. I don't know. Actually, yeah, let's look because I don't know if it was linear. Like I think it should be.
If you made like a line of best fit, it would be kind of linear.
Oh, and then we got this 32 hanging out at 325, you know? You love to see it.
Want to see our data?
They're not
It's
changed.
weird.
Have you guys put it up yet? Your data?
Change in the amount of sugar.
Okay.
Some people still haven't entered their data.
Yeah.
No, we haven't entered ours yet.
Yeah, go, Alex, go.
Go, Alex. Strong man. I kind of want to see what happens if I can just like change this to like
Throw off
180,
your entire data.
you know, so they can go like anywhere at any time. You ready? 350
Just remember what you had before.
for the boys. It's so much slower.
Oh, are you guys like gambling or something?
Oh my god.
60.
What? Wait, what happened here?
It just suddenly went to 60.
I hit 58.
Okay.
Alright, jumps up to 10.
Like in an instant.
Hit 20. Push through 30. Oh, you're weak. You're weak. This is why your parents don't love you.
Okay, so if you guys can pause for just a sec. Class averages are final for experiment 1. So this is experiment 1, no enzymes. All the averages are there. So you can copy it down now. It's also linked on Schoology for your reference at any point if you haven't seen that yet. And I see a lot of groups are already on experiment 2. So once we have that, we'll update the second part too. So feel free to come on up and take a look if you can't see from where you are, or just go on through Schoology.
Okay. 87 sugars. 125.
What's up?
125.
87?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I figured it would plateau eventually, just because the enzymes.
There's only 8.
I don't know if you can use them right away. Nope. That's not right.
6.
Dude, these 8 enzymes, though, putting in that work, dog. Go push 100, push 100. Ah, this is why your family doesn't love you, enzymes. Here we go. I get so hyped watching this. Just like these enzymes bouncing around and stuff. 19.
Kind of.
I'm guessing 5. The same thing.
I'll go and enter. I got you, homie.
It should be D, because there is enzymes, and enzymes are catalysts, chemical reaction catalysts, so they increase things. So.
Yours went down in the end.
It did.
Down. Wow. Up, down, up,
Yeah.
down. Yeah.
It was kind of weird, starting from like it happened here and then
Yeah.
2 up and down,
Yeah.
then up, 2
Yeah.
down,
Mm-hmm.
up and down, up and down. Yeah, I don't know.
Cool.
I mean, I figured that eventually it would plateau because there are only 8 of the enzymes, and once like you eliminate the fact that like, if there are enough starches that it would like bounce off of one every time it was like available to be used again, then it would just come down to how often it would like the gaps between
Yeah.
would be. So like I figured that this wouldn't be like the spot where it would plateau, but it would eventually if you like.
Yeah. Interesting.
There's an FPS counter.
Hmm?
I didn't realize there's an FPS counter in here.
There is. I know. All right, so there's 168 sugars in there.
100.
Oh yes.
What? What?
We have class.
Oh my gosh. Yo. Okay. So there's you see those
How
up
many
there?
sugars?
What are?
There are 2 elusive glucose molecules up there.
Yeah.
It's at 1997. But they just lasted the whole 30 seconds without getting enzymed. There's one.
enzyme?
There's up there. You see it?
Wait, what?
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Oh my god. Dude, it's not gonna get broken down.
Okay, so if you haven't done so already,
That's the
please
goal.
make sure that you are working on the data collection for experiment 2. And then any questions that you didn't finish within the packet, you can finish at
Alright.
home. But we want to make sure all the data is gathered by the end of today's class.
Class data.
Okay, we have to make a claim. We have to make a claim or choose it. Actually.
Enzymes find substrates like a hungry traveler without a map.
Yeah.
Let's look at the 25 with 1 or with 8 enzymes very slowly and just
Yeah.
see if there's any pathing that we see. Oh my goodness. What do you think?
I think they just go randomly wander.
Think there's a random wander?
You can just look in the code.
Yeah, you could look in the code. That's fair.
What do we look for? Enzymes, right?
Yeah.
Let's look at what that enzyme does. Oh, there's a cooldown the enzyme can do.
Yeah, so so based on the code, it's Claim C. Enzymes find substrates like a traveler without a map in a new town, wandering the streets in no particular direction until they bump into a pizza place. Pizza happens to be the only food they like, so they go in and eat.
Yeah,
That's true. Our evidence for this is
I have these seconds.
we got you in the code. Yeah, we found you've been had. There you go. That's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me have everyone's attention for a minute before we wrap up today. Okay, so put your pencils down for just a second, please. Okay, so in terms of what to focus on for the packet, obviously there's a lot of questions, but I think most groups are almost done. So I'll tell you what we're going to go over tomorrow, and you can pay attention for that part of the homework. Okay, so group discussions, 2 of them. The one on page 5 and 6 and the one on page 9, we're going to go over those tomorrow. We're going to go over question 11, and we're going to go over the graphs on page 10. So make sure you have those done well and be prepared to discuss those. The rest of the questions, don't worry about as much. And then we're waiting on one more group, a group, maybe 7, maybe not. And then we'll have the average with enzymes. So if you guys want to wait for another minute, this will be ready and you can copy that down. And if you'd rather just go, it will be on Schoology, okay? So tomorrow we'll go over all of it. Please close the Chromebooks and put them away.